a logging truck. Win with Flynn. Serious injury, significant results. Visit winwithflynn.com or call 77-WIN-FLYNN.
Register, lace up, and let the training begin for the 2026 Carrollton Half Marathon, September 26th. The race starts at Carrollton's historic Adamson Square, winds through the city and around the Greenbelt, then crosses the finish line to music, food, and fun. Individual or relay team registration includes a t-shirt, finisher's medal, and tickets for food and drinks. Sign up at carrolltonhalf.com. Hosted by the City of Carrollton and West Georgia Track Club. Sponsored by Tanner Health.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
All right, it's 8:30. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name's Colin Worthington. Two handsome young guests here with us this morning. I'll introduce you to them shortly. We're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page this morning, so any questions or comments, I'm sure there'll be some comments, some kudos, and pats on the back that you want to share on this morning's program, so stay tuned for that. Sitting to my left, we have Carrollton Police Sergeant Brandon Wilson, and sitting to my right, Brittney Wells, Executive Director of Institutional Advancement at West Georgia Technical College and the WGTC Foundation. I took it off the website. I hope it's accurate there, Brittney.
Yes.
It's all right. Good. And why are these two together? We'll talk about that during this program. I want to today introduce to our listeners the Wesley Brian Wilson Memorial Scholarship. Wesley was a 19-year-old from Carrollton, 2025 graduate of Bowden High School. He worked at Bowhunter's Supply Store. He tragically passed away on November the 30th last year after an unexpected, unknown battle with leukemia. We're going to talk about that with his father this morning. Again, Sergeant Brandon Wilson. That's pretty recent, too, as well, right? Last year or so?
It is.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Well, good. What haven't I said about you? Introduce your family. Make sure you give your wife
honestly, I'd rather talk about my son.
Okay, fair enough.
Than me. This is about him, and it's about helping others. So I'd like to keep it that way.
Well, that's good. There's going to be, with all these good things we're going to say about your son, he had to pick those up somewhere, right?
We tried.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, tell us about your son before we.
So Wesley was 19. He loved hunting. He loved fishing. He loved shooting his bow and arrow. He loved his friends, and he loved his family. We've got to know a lot of stuff about Wesley after he passed, and I'd like to share a few stories about him. One of the stories that to me had the most impact, that someone actually come up and told us, was he had a kid. He's like, hey, you don't know me, but you know my mom and you know my dad. But he said, one day I was going through, I think, the College and Career Academy, and he said, I accidentally got on the wrong bus. He said, I was supposed to go to Mount Zion, but ended up going to Bowden. He said, when I got there, everyone was laughing at me, but Wesley is the only person that come up and says, hey, come here, let me help you out, and let me get you back to Mount Zion. So, that said a lot about who Wesley was.
And you would have never, he probably didn't tell you. Wesley probably, it's not something that he would have thought twice about to even tell his parents, this is what I did today.
No, sir. He didn't. Something else that we learned about Wesley is, he was a lover of music. We used to play a game, and you could play YouTube videos, and so you could guess the song, and that's one of the things that we did. And one of the things that Wesley really loved to do was to do that. And for 19 years old, Wesley knew some songs that I listened to growing up as a kid with my parents. He knew them just as quickly as I did, which is really impressive to me. So we're going through. Trying to plan the memorial service at the funeral home, and since Wesley loved music, one of the things that we did was, during the visitation, we played music that Wesley liked. And going through his playlist and what he really liked listening to, we found a TikTok that he did. He was big into TikTok. He had a lot of hunting TikToks that him and his buddy were starting to put out there, and he actually did a really, really good job with them. I never knew that about Wesley either. But the TikTok basically said is that what you should do is How to Succeed in Life was the title. And this is, to me, it's pretty profound for a 19-year-old to come out and put this out there, because at 19, I couldn't have said what he said. So the TikTok basically says that what you should do is you should, find your people, and the people that'll keep your grass green when you're not home. And then the next line of the TikTok is basically you find your friends that you'll consider family, and you'll work together to make sure everyone succeeds. And then the last thing he said was finally trust in the Lord. If you didn't know you could get through it, he wouldn't put you through it. So to me, that's very, very profound words for a 19-year-old kid.
Absolutely. So you had no idea he was making these TikToks, or if you did, you just didn't?
No, sir. I'm not on TikTok. I never knew it until, like I said, we went through his phone trying to find music, and that's some of the things that we come up with.
So you guys are able to keep those? I mean, is that something you want to keep? Is it kind of hard to watch again? I mean, you don't want to get rid of them, but I imagine it's hard to keep watching.
Well, I haven't watched those in a minute. Mm-hmm. One thing I've learned is sometimes you'll get to thinking about something. Like I went back and read text messages between us. We've favorited a lot of the songs that he likes, so we listen to some of his favorite songs too, and that's some of the things that we've done. And one thing about grief I've learned is it's not a linear process. It just doesn't. All right, we'll go and it'll get better day after day. Sometimes it gets better. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it feels like you've been punched in the stomach.
Our guest this morning, Carrollton Police Sergeant Brandon Wilson, also Brittney Wells with WGTC. I do want to talk about that horrible day or the horrible week or what you guys dealt with. But first, how did you guys get together for this scholarship? As we ask, we got to get Brittney on here now.
So Brandon approached us, I don't know, I guess it's been maybe about 3 months ago.
No, it was still cold. It was like January, February.
So was it that early in the year? And so Wesley attended West Georgia Tech as a dual enrollment student. And
when he was about in high school?
Yeah, so and also Brandon had worked with one of our employees' children in a intern capacity, so he kind of felt really connected with the college. And Wesley was taking HVAC with us at one point, and so he just felt like, I want to give back. I want to do something to memorialize my son and make sure that he is remembered. And so he looked into us and he saw that we did endowed scholarships. And the way an endowed scholarship works is you set it up, and for us it's a minimum of $25,000 to set up an endowed scholarship, and we invest that money and we draw off that money each year to give scholarships. And so it lives in perpetuity. This scholarship will live on forever once it's endowed. And so that's why we set a threshold so that we're able to actually draw off of it annually to give the scholarship. And so we started discussions and how can we make this work. And so we were honored that Brandon and his wife decided to choose West Georgia Tech to do this to memorialize their son. And so he shared the story of Wesley, and we've all been very touched by what has happened and the fact that this is a great way to honor him, and his memory will live on, and every student that receives a scholarship, they're going to know where the scholarship came from. So, and
what are going to be the requirements? I mean, did you put forth, hey, I mean, they have to show this is what I believe Wesley was about. They have to show this or that, or
so we're still trying to fine tune everything. But one of the things that we do is we want this scholarship to help as many people as possible. Brittney can talk about some of the requirements, like if I'm correct me if I'm wrong,
GPA and things like that.
But so we wanted, if someone graduates high school, to be able to apply for the scholarship. I think in the past with some scholarships you had to be a student there before you could get it. So
when I've been at the college for a little over 5.5 years now, and so when I got here, we weren't giving any scholarships to incoming students. You had to have an established GPA with us, and so that's really hard because $500 could be what makes or breaks the barrier for them to be able to
go to school for the first time, yeah.
Yes. So we hated that we weren't having scholarships for incoming students. So we now, I can gladly say, we give quite a few incoming student scholarships. And so it's a small amount in comparison to the other ones, but at least it lets some of those get their foot in and feel like, and I mean, we've had incoming students, I've had 2 or 3 of them, they get them multiple semesters. So, and it really changes their lives. And so that is one of the things we want to do. We'll, like he said, we'll fine tune it once we have the scholarship established, but he did choose programs. We know what programs we want these to be offered to. So, but we'll probably set GPA requirements. There might be other things like, you just never know with our scholarships. It could be that the donor wants them to be a working student, or, which, let me tell you, most of our students are working. They're mostly adult students that are working. We do have traditional students as well, but our large, vast population, they're working 1 or 2 jobs and going to school full time or part time. So as we get it established, we will set more parameters. But do you want to tell them which programs you've decided?
Yeah, so we decided HVAC because that's what Wesley wanted to do for a while. Was he wanted to go into HVAC, where criminal justice is the other scholarship, and nursing. Criminal justice has been law enforcement now for over 27 years, and I believe that throughout my time I've at least helped a few people, and so that there's different versions of criminal justice too. There's not just law enforcement. There's other things that you can use a criminal justice scholarship for. So we wanted to have that available so people could help others with that type of scholarship. And we also chose nursing. And the reason why we chose nursing was that my mother, at 40-something years old, she was laid off from a job, and she went back to school and got her LPN. Yes. My brother, he also is a nurse, and his wife's a nurse. And the other reason why we chose nursing for the scholarship is when he was at Grady, he had 2 of the best nurses, in my opinion. One of them's name was Ken, and the other one's name was Angie. And so they were just amazing people, and we thought that, that if we could get nursing in there as well, that would be a great place for people to help people. And a little story about Ken is he actually played football in Buffalo College. Okay. And he is probably one of the nicest human beings you've ever met, but if you look at him, he is a massive guy. So he played defensive end at Buffalo College, and I was like, hey, man, how did somebody your size come, get nursing? He said, my mother was in the hospital, and he said, I quit football because I was tired of getting hurt. So when my mother was in the hospital, she had a great nurse, and he said, I knew then that I really wanted to help people. So that's why we chose nursing.
Very nice, very nice. And we haven't really talked about Wesley's condition and what led to his passing, and we'll do that when we come back from the break, because it's a shocking story as well. I think there's probably a whole new campaign with that. Encouraging parents to pay attention to things and things like that. We'll talk about that when we come back from our first break. Time right now is 8:43. You're listening and watching the Community Voice program on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3 and the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Again, if you have any questions or comments for our guests, I encourage you to post those up there, and we'll try and take a peek see during the break. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
.843, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com, the News Talk 1330 WLBB app. And you can play that there. And when this program is over, if you miss any of it, you can go back to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page and listen to the program in its entirety. Also, it'll be on News Talk 1330 YouTube. Actually, Granite Communications YouTube. It'll be up there forever. So if you miss any of this, and if you maybe need some information, how to participate in this, how to donate, that should be all available. We'll talk about that at least one more time in this program. Wesley's passing, I mean, was generally a surprise for you guys. It's not like something he was diagnosed with leukemia, but it was not something that you guys knew about and were able to treat it for a long time. I mean, this is relatively just snuck up on you.
Yes, sir. So when Wesley's birthday was November the 7th, and that's when we think he started developing leukemia, just from some of the symptoms that he was complaining about. He's complaining about unknown bruising, and so we're like, well, son, we get those bruises all the time ourselves, you know. And so I actually Googled it, and it's like, well, he's either fine or he's got cancer. And I've learned since then that if you Google something, Google's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear or what you don't want to hear, and there's generally no in between on that. And he complained about 2 minor nosebleeds, but it's getting the time of year where the weather is getting dry, and sometimes that can happen. And he complained about being tired, you know. But Wesley never was like a good sleeper. Like, he would talk to his friends on the phone late at night, and he would get up and you know, at that age too. I mean, you've been out and you've hung out with your friends, and you got in bed late, and you're like, I'm not doing that again tonight. I'm gonna get some sleep, and the next thing you know, you're out doing the same thing again. So that was a typical 19-year-old, and that's kind of who he was. You know, pretty much of his life, he was complaining about being tired, not sleeping. So we didn't see any really signs that stood out to us. And actually, one of the oncologists up at Grady, he worked for Emory, but he was at Grady that day. He says, "Look, there's nothing you could have done to cause this. And if you think about it, if you start having an issue, unless you go to the ER or something like that, if you call and try to make it a doctor's appointment, it's going to be at least a month out, or not more than that." Wesley didn't have that long.
There are multiple, I guess, types of leukemia.
Yes, sir.
Right. I mean, and this one was. I mean, I'm thinking it's the acute version. It might have
is.
different.
Yes,
okay.
sir. It is. It's APL leukemia, and don't ask me to pronounce the whole word, but it's APL leukemia. It's very, very aggressive cancer. But if it's caught early, it's like a 90% curable rate, is what they say.
Yeah, and I don't think it's considered hereditary, but I think if you have it maybe back in your family, there's reasons at least to pay attention to stuff like that. Is that?
It's not considered hereditary. I think it's a genetic abnormality is what it can be. It can be caused by a couple chemicals and stuff too, but I don't think Wesley really fit into that. So I think it was a genetic abnormality that caused it.
And I mean, how much you guys? I mean, I'm sure you just go back on that frequently. I mean, just going back to that last year, it's like, you know, could we have noticed this, or was he around anything like that? And
we did that a lot over, you know, especially the first few weeks after Wesley passed. We went back. I mean, you know, probably could have been an expert on APL leukemia for the first couple of weeks just because you read so much. Yeah. But I really believe that no matter what we would have done, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah. Is there any consideration for a student getting the scholarship? I mean, maybe dealing with the form of leukemia, or maybe beating it, or?
I have thought about that. I don't know that, and that's a question for Brittney. I don't know that we could make that a requirement, because maybe a
maybe not the requirement, but it's I mean, just somebody to encourage them to.
I think that would be a very small population that would fit into, but definitely that would be quite a coincidence if we ended up getting somebody that had beat leukemia. But I mean, we do have all kinds of parameters set on scholarships, and there's ones there that, like, you can have something that's preferential. So, like, if there's somebody that meets this, they move to the top of the list. You know what I mean? So that's always something to consider.
Yeah, right. I mean, I didn't think that it was going to be just be the standard you have to have dealt with it, but you never know. There might be somebody who's sure. I mean, that could be I don't want to say a bonus thing, but that might help them out a little bit more. All right, time right now is 8:48. We'll go ahead and take our final break here. We'll talk a little bit about the West Georgia Technical College Foundation, talk a little bit more about Wesley, unless you can think of another cool story about him before we go to the break. I mean, maybe something you just found out. I mean, that's what blows me away. I'll tell you, my father passed away in January. And, you know, and I knew him. I knew him was a great guy, but it was just amazing just to see and hear from people. I mean, I think that helps out a lot. But it probably hurts a little bit, too, to hear that. I mean, if there's something that you missed out on, the personality or something he did.
Well, it does. But, you know, one thing I've learned is talking about Wesley helps me. I met a huge Alabama fan. Most of y'all may disagree with that, but that's fine. But so it was over in Tuscaloosa. I met one of the coaches over there on the football team, met his wife. So we're talking to her, and we're telling her about Wesley. Who else do you want to tell a stranger about your son? So we did, and she says, look, never stop telling his story. Always continue to tell his story, and that really resonated with me, and that's really helped me. And I've read a lot of things and learned a lot of things and talked to a lot of people since then. And one of the things that I heard is someone told me that people die twice. And I was like, that's impossible. People only die once. And they're like, no, people die when they die, and they die when people stop telling their stories or stop mentioning their name. And so that's one of the things with a scholarship too, is that we never want people to stop mentioning Wesley's name. So if you're going through something, grief, you've lost someone, never stop telling their story. Always mention their name.
Love it. All right, time right now is 8:50. We'll take our final break here and come back and conclude our program this morning as we discuss the Wesley Brian Wilson Memorial Scholarship with West Georgia Technical College. My guest this morning, Wesley's father, Carrollton Police Sergeant Brandon Wilson, and Brittney Wells, who's the Executive Director of the Institutional Advancement at West Georgia Technical College. But I think for the purposes of our program this morning, she also heads up the WGTC Foundation. So we'll take a final break. Again, if you have any questions or comments you want to post to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, please go ahead and do that, and I will share them with our guests. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Sorry, 852. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. Again, my name's Colin Worthington, wrapping up our program with Carrollton Police Sergeant Brandon Wilson and Brittney Wells with West Georgia Technical College, talking about a new scholarship, and we'll give you the information on that one more time. Although I don't think it's going to be available in time for 2027 fall. No,
it won't be.
Okay, but we are encouraging some people to donate if they can. There's a website for all that, and we'll share that. But the WGTC Foundation, what is that about?
So, the sole purpose of the foundation is to support the college. And so my job is to raise money to support with scholarships, with capital campaigns, classroom needs, support our staff as well. We have an emergency assistance fund that supports not only our student, but our faculty and staff. So we're very proud of our scholarship program. We broke a record this year, the most we've ever given out. We gave $160,000 out to over 200 individuals. So we're very proud of that. And people might hear $160,000 and be like, well, that doesn't seem like a lot of money. Well, that's a ton of money to our students. Our scholarships range from $500 to $2,500 a scholarship. But our credit hour, our cost for credit hour is $107. So a full-time student is looking at anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a semester. So $500 can really make a difference and an impact in our students. So I work really hard to make sure we have plenty of scholarships for our students. We're doing really well. So this scholarship, we are trying to establish it. So Brandon is seeking donations, and we're here to support him. At this point, he has raised $11,000, and to establish this endowment we need $25,000. So he's looking for support still to make this happen, and we're here to help him along the way.
That $167,000, and I still owe that for my college. But how can people donate to this?
So we have you can go to our website, and we have a form just for the scholarship to donate specifically to the scholarship, and we'll make sure to get you those links and everything so that you can help share it. But if you go to West Georgia Technical College Foundation, and if you just put in the search the name of the scholarship, the Wesley Ryan Wilson Scholarship. It'll take you to the right page for that, and you can support. We've also, Brandon has shared it as well on his Facebook, and the college shared that post, so you could go to our Facebook page and you could find it there. The link is there to support. So any way we can help him, we're here.
We shared it about 2 weeks ago, but I'm sure it's gone to the bottom of the page, so we'll bring it back. Maybe I should pin it to the top there. And I guess the same website if somebody wants to create a
so if you go to our website, the foundation has its own page, and you can find out all about us and different ways that you can get involved with the college. And there's many ways to get involved with the college, not just in a financial way. We are always looking for supporters for our advisory boards. For every program we have an advisory committee that meets, that helps a couple times a year. They meet to make sure that our program is meeting our industry needs. So there's many ways to get involved. But yes, on that page, it'll talk about our scholarships, endowed scholarships, just different ways to give back. We take stocks, we take cash donations, we take
crypto,
we take equipment donations. And
you're not taking crypto though?
No, I've never taken crypto. So, but we often get our industry partners donate equipment. We get people that donate vehicles. So I get calls all the time about different ways they can donate. So I'm always here to answer questions and help facilitate any needs of the college. So.
Very nice. When I look at Wesley's name, Wesley Brian Wilson, I can't help but think of the Beach Boys. Is there any association with that?
No, sir. He was named after my father, and he was named after my wife's brother, who was killed in a car crash. So that's how he got the name.
Well, let's before we wrap up the program. Is there anything else you want to let us know about Wesley, or maybe talk about anybody else who's been a big rock for you? This is not an easy thing. I told you my father passed away in January. I really still have not accepted it. I haven't got to that point. I think about him every day, and still think I'm going to call him for something. But I really have not had that moment just to to accept it's happening. So it's not. But again, he was 77, so it was inevitable.
Yes,
but that shock, to lose your child, you're not supposed to.
No, sir, you're not. We've had a lot of great friends, and the city of Carrollton has been great to me through this time. I have to mention them; they've been awesome. But our friends and family, they really guided us through, and they came to us and stayed with us at Grady and all that until after Wesley's passing. So that really has helped us get through this. And you see a lot of stuff on social media and talking about how to deal with grief, and there's grief counselors out there, there's grief programs, so there's a lot of things a lot of resources out there to help people get through grief. But something I would like to say too is when Brittney and I first met, she handed me a pamphlet, and one of the things that stood out to me on the pamphlet was that a lot of these people going through West Georgia Technical College, they'll drop out of class because they can't afford a $50 book. And to me, that spoke volumes at why, scholarships like these are important, because we really want to help people succeed in life. And so that's why, to me, a scholarship is so important.
All right, guys, thank you. Did either one, you want to say anything before we go? Anybody else you want to give kudos to? You want to, anything we want to promote as far as donating to this scholarship one more time?
Again, we're just so, we're so thankful that the Wilson family decided to choose West Georgia Tech to do this and honor Wesley. And
right, you could have gone to the community foundation and done something else, but you wanted to focus on
yes, sir,
youth. Same age as Wesley.
So we're here. We just love to partner with and partnering with a family like this is just really special. So
right. Good to see you. Glad you came on and talked about it.
Thank you.
Brittney, good to see you as well. Absolutely, guys. Time right now is it's 8:58. On tomorrow's program, we're kind of continuing our series of celebrating 200 years of Carroll County. Got one of the premier historians for Carroll County, Doug Mabry. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. I was hoping maybe we can dig up some shysters in Carroll County's history. Maybe we can have some of those stories, but we'll find out. I'll talk to him today, and we'll find out exactly what we can talk about. But yeah, this man has plenty of knowledge about the history of Carroll County, so we'll do that on tomorrow's program here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. And again, if you missed any of today's program, I do encourage you to go back to the newstalk1330.com website and find it in the podcast. You'll also see a picture of Wesley there. I've already put it up there. Got it off the scholarship page. Yes, so you'll find that at the bottom of our website, newstalk1330.com. Again, it's on Facebook now. It'll be up there for the next 30 days, and then it'll be on the Granite Communications YouTube forever. Again, guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Community Voice is always brought to you by Tanner Health.